Hi folks, I'm here with the Fairy Liberation Front. I mentioned fairy rings in this series, and one that I noticed yesterday after recording my other fairy ring videos. I got into the car, and on the radio was a news story on NPR or CPR, Colorado Public Radio, about how we are legalizing mushrooms here, which of course mushrooms are the traditional fairy ring. When you see mushrooms in a ring, that's a traditional fairy ring. I've been talking about digital and media fairy rings here in this series. But this is a media fairy ring that my conversation to TikTok was echoed on the radio when I got into the car. And they're talking about making healing centers. If we vote on it, we're going to vote for healing centers um, to have mushrooms administered in safe environments with caretakers, stuff like this. And exciting developments there. But to bring it around full circle and to be even more of a fairy ring about it, today this was yesterday, so today when I got in the car, I heard another news story about a sheriff who passed away and had a memorial for him, Sheriff of Aspen, Bob Braudis, who they mentioned was a friend of Lance Armstrong and Hunter S. Thompson and some other people, but also a friend of many people because those are just famous people they mentioned, but friend of many people because people liked him because he was a good sheriff. Apparently there was a standoff for a week with someone that he waited out for a week instead of uh, doing something else, that he preferred nonviolent intervention. So sounds like a good sheriff from what they reported. And they also mentioned that his casket at his funeral had golden cannabis leaves on it, and that he mentioned on his lie detector, I guess, interview that he'd smoked hash over 10,000 times. And that maybe contributes to being a more patient, nonviolent sheriff, or a sheriff who does things a different way. And that might be the different way that people need. Um, anyway, I wanted to mention that because I felt like that was another good Colorado uh, radio moment and Colorado cultural moment, and to honor Bob Braudis, who's a good sheriff who's passed on, and to honor CPR for mentioning these things and telling us these stories, and to honor the fairies for making these types of connections that make me want to mention it to you, and to honor you for listening. Thank you, CC, and thanks for joining the Fairy Liberation Front.